This happened in my family. My grandpa died in the house we're staying in now. He was an amazing man who always told the best stories. But after he passed away, strange things started to happen. At first, it was just his old chair rocking back and forth in the corner. It was an old wooden chair that he'd had since he was a young man. It wasn't the type of chair you could rock intentionally. You know, like it didn't have a rocker bottom or anything. And it was sturdy too. But after he died, we would hear it creaking and then it would start rocking by itself. We assumed it was the wind because it was an old house and the windows didn't seal very well. But then one day we came home and found photos of him all over the floor. They were hanging in the hallway outside his office, you know, just some pictures of him with his grandkids and stuff. But they were all on the ground, the nails still in them. And then we realized there was no wind because the windows were shut. Then one day we heard the grandfather clock in the hall chime twice. It was odd because it only chimes once every 15 minutes to tell you what time it is. And the last time we'd heard it chime, we'd fixed it so it wouldn't chime at all anymore because it was driving us crazy. So we went to go look at it and the clock was completely dead. It wasn't even plugged in. We checked the fuse box and it was fine. Then we heard it chime again. So we looked at each other and started to run down the hallway. But whatever it was, it stopped making noise and we couldn't find anything. So we started to think, maybe it was just our minds playing tricks on us. You know, grief can do strange things to you. But then one night my mom woke up and she heard him. She heard his voice echoing down the hallway saying, "I'm still here." She didn't know what to do, so she got in her car and stayed in the driveway all day. She didn't go inside the house at all. When my aunt and uncle came over, they convinced her to go inside, but she only made it as far as the front door. She could hear him walking around in the house, moving objects around, shuffling papers, just like he used to. So they ended up moving out. It's a little creepy, right? Well, it gets creepier. My cousin actually still lives there. She's my age, and she's dating this guy. He's really into paranormal stuff. So when they found out about my grandpa, they were excited. Now, my grandpa died in the early 90s. So it's not like his ghost would be using a computer or anything. See, he was a hoarder, so he had these stacks of paper everywhere, thousands of pages filled with numbers and letters and symbols. He was a mathematician, so it was all calculations for his theories. But because he was a hoarder, none of it was ever organized. So my cousin and her boyfriend decided to go through it all and organize it by hand. They put all the pages in binders and labeled them and put them on shelves. Well, one night they were working late and they heard the chair start rocking in the corner. It was exactly 2:15 a.m. They ran to the window and saw that there was no wind. Both their dogs started barking, then the lights flickered and went out. When they went to light some candles, they noticed that everything was covered in a thick layer of dust. It must have been hundreds of years' worth of dust. But the weirdest thing was that all the papers on the shelves were gone. Every single one of them had vanished. They looked in the closet, they looked under the bed, they looked everywhere. Then they heard the chair stop rocking and they felt something cold brush against their necks. That's when they moved out. The new owners say the chair still rocks at 2:15 a.m. every night.